What is up, everybody? Eric here from TnT Tobacco. Thanks for hanging out with me this evening. It is a Sunday evening, and I don't have a ton to do, so I figure I would come hang out with you guys. If you have any questions, you can post those in the chat. There's also Skype, Discord, and good old-fashioned phone number if you want to take part. But hey, just shoot a message in the chat if you're interested in joining live via chat or voice or video or whatever, and I'll shoot you the info. And hey, thanks for joining Combat Sloth. How's it going? I have not prepped like anything, so I have to get my tea set up. I have a cigar ready, but I need to break up some tea here. Find my little pick. How's it going, Likens? See if I can get this down just a little bit. Yeah, good enough. How's everybody doing this evening? Anything exciting happened this weekend? First week back for some people for work last week. Recovering from the holidays. Are we in a different room? Nope, same room. Have you finished the bowl yet? I just need to. I did part it off the lathe this morning and cleaned up the bottom and put on the first coat of finish on the bottom, so it will probably be done tomorrow. It takes 24 hours for the finish to dry, so I'm going to put one more coat on tomorrow, like tomorrow morning, and then I will buff it up and all that good stuff. Either tomorrow night or first thing on Tuesday morning. So it is pretty much done. It's just need to put the last coats of finish on it and polish it. So that has been a pretty fun project. It's my first segmented bowl that I've made, and it's come out really well. I'm excited it did not blow up on the lathe, though there's still a chance. I hope not while I'm buffing it that it decides to explode on me, but so far so good. Today I am drinking a Munghai Day 2010 raw. It's the Tribute Toa. Comes in this green box. They've made it pretty much every year. Gotta jump in on the ashtray. I smoke outside and usually get So I have my ashtray right here. This is the oak one that I've made. But I can make it in really pretty much any wood as long as I can get a hold of it. So if you want something really strange and exotic, I can do that. Or oak and maple are kind of the easiest ones to get a hold of because they're domestic and local to me. As far as hardwood goes, that's kind of the lower end, but I can get African mahogany. I can get Honduran mahogany, cherry, ash, black walnut. Really, pretty much anything you can think of for the most part. As long as it's on the market and it's not endangered, then I can get a hold of it. I've gotten some Purple Heart, which is what I used in that bowl. That's the purple section of that bowl. I can get Yellow Heart, Che-Chen. What else? I actually got a pretty good chunk of Spanish cedar that I will be making. That I will be making cigar tubes out of. I got a huge chunk. It's 2 inches thick, 6 inches wide, and 4 feet long. So I got a nice big chunk of Spanish cedar that I will be able to make a ton of cigar tubes out of it. And I can make them like whatever like max ring gauge people would want. Or, you know, I can make them whatever size people want. So if somebody likes to smoke nubs all the time, they don't really need a long tube. They need a fat, short tube, because you don't want them, you know, jostling around too much in your cigar tube. So I will be able to make whatever out of that. So that'll be kind of my next project, is kind of do some cigar tubes, I guess, or at least cigar tube for me, and then kind of if anybody wants those, then I'll be able to get those. I've also been making some cool pens as well, which you can see on like my Instagram and Facebook. I haven't showed them on the channel. My wife steals them all. All the ones that I've made so far have gone to somebody, and my wife stole the really, really nice one. So you'll have to pop over to Instagram or Facebook to see the really nice fountain pen that I made her. And she stole, well, my mother-in-law stole my bloodwood pen, and my wife stole my olive wood pen. I got a bunch of Brazilian rosewood blanks. The lumber yard near me, where I get the exotic woods and whatnot, they have a massive pile of just small pieces of Brazilian rosewood. Can't really do a whole bunch with them other than kind of make pens and like bottle stoppers and stuff like that. So it's just kind of small pieces. Those are all down in my workshop, but I got a good hunk of those, so I can make some Brazilian or Honduran rosewood pens. Or if somebody would like a bottle stopper or a bottle opener, I guess I could make one of those too. Cigar that I have today is the Alec Bradley K47. They say it's short run, but you can still get them, and they've been out for many years now. I did a review on them. I think it's review number 9 that I did. So they've been around for quite a while. I think right now Thompson's is kind of the one that has the most, or at least they're the first ones that come up. It might be an exclusive to Thompson's. I'm not sure. Let's see if anybody else has them. Thompson's. Maybe Famous? Nope, that's just a sun-grown. So the K147 may be a Thompson's exclusive. Unless everybody just happens, unless they've been discontinued and Thompson's the only one left with them. I'm not sure either way, but, you know, it's there. What is up, Steph and Skip? Can't complain. Hey, how's it going? What's up, Smooth Piper? Who else is in here? Thoughts on corn cobs? I use them just because they're cheap, but mostly just for aromatics that I tend not to smoke regularly anyways. So I just, I'll dedicate, I have like 10 cobs that I've dedicate just to like various kind of like base aromatics. So I got like one for vanilla, one for coffee, one for chocolate, one for citrus, one for whiskey, you know, one for other berries, one for cherry. So I kind of break them out that way. That's really the only thing I use cobs for. is mostly just for reviewing stuff that I wouldn't normally smoke, because all my Briars are for Latakia based blends, and then the other non-aromatics like Virginias and Vapors and Burleys. How's it going, Tony? I think I went a little too long on the first steep here. It is a little bitter. I'm going to cut it with a little water. It's a little strong. And where is my lighter? Here we go. What's up, Pipe Cedra? I think I got everybody. So far, that's coming. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, just throw them in the chat, and I can get to them. I have a feeling this channel might get a little more eclectic because, you know, YouTube is hating on the ATF content these days, so I'll probably do some more videos about my woodworking adventures. Need to figure out how to film them, though, because I just have DSLRs, which is what I'm using right now, and they're not weather sealed, and I don't have weather sealed lenses, and there's so much dust created that they just get covered in dust, and I don't want dust to get in my lenses, so I'll either need some weather sealed cameras, or I might have to switch up cameras. How do I clean my hats? Dry cleaning for the most part. Any of the ones that are wool, which is the vast majority of them. I have a couple that are just like polyester, and I can just throw those in the wash. But for the most part, dry cleaning is the way to go. I've tried Woolite before, but it kind of leaves a residue that I just don't like. So dry cleaning is probably the best way to go for hats. For the most part, though, it's not like my hats don't get that dirty, because like the hat that I'm wearing right now, this isn't something that I'm gonna go like running wearing. So, you know, I have baseball hats and and hats like that I do, you know, other activity, hiking and running and all that fun stuff. So, the hats that you usually see me wearing are more of my my casual hats. Yeah. Very cold here. Huge storm rolled through. Temps dropped to 30, which is funny because it was actually 60 here today. So all of our snow is melted. It's all gone, but now it's going to get cold, and we're supposed to get like, you know, a foot of snow next weekend. Though, you know, it's 7 days out, so who the hell knows. Well, it's everyone's smoking pipes, etc. Smoking some McClellan Dark Star. Gotta smoke it while while you can still find it, or smoking into the cellar a little bit. I have one tin of Dark Star that I haven't opened. I also have one tin of Bombay Court and a tin of Blackwood's Flake. I have a couple other McClellans still laying around. I got some, was it Royal Manor or something like that? I have a couple tins of Frogmorton, the original Frogmorton. But other than that, I did not get a ton of McClellans before they went out of business. And it was pretty short notice anyway, so everybody snagged them fast. And I was not in the market for obtaining a crap ton of tobacco at the time when they went out, unfortunately. But like the news, the paperboy hats, the newsboy hats, whatever you want to call them. There's different. There's like a sub. There's like a whole bunch of hats that get called newsboys, and they're not really newsboys. And some get called like driving hats, or, so, some are. There's just kind of a wide range of that end up falling in there. Normally, yeah, I would call this a newsboy, or a driving cap. I'd probably put it more in the driving cap because it's not nearly as big, and it doesn't actually have a snap up front. So that's kind of one of the things that this is actually, the brim is attached directly, so there's no snap. I would normally call it like a newsboy if it was if it had a snap and you could actually disconnect the top of the bill to some of the hat and make it stand up a little bit. That's what I would normally call a newsboy. You call that a patty. What? You call what I'm wearing a patty, or what I was just describing a patty? Last I talked, at 8,000 subs, my wife will come on and do a live stream with me. I think we're only, like 100 away? So my wife will come on and we'll drink some tea. Should make it 10,000, but we'll go with 8,000. What I'm wearing, you would call a patty cap. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where it's just like the name has covered so many different hats that everybody uses a lot of different interchangeable names for like this different, they use the same name for tons of different styles. So it is what it is. I go by whatever the manufacturer decides to call it. Let me check what the manufacturer actually calls this one, because this is the Fanset. This is my Fanset hat, and I'm a huge fan of it. I really like it. Fanset. They call this a newsboy. They also call it a Ivy cap. They also call it a golf cap, cabbie, a cab driver, a flat duckbill Irish hat, hunting snow, a hunting hat. So yeah, all for the same. That's actually what's in it. It's winter taper hat, men wool, newsboy, ivy cap, ear flap, golf cabbie, driver, flat, duckbill, Irish hats, hunting, snow guys. So that's the entire description of this particular hat. So you never know. Have I ever had a tobacco or a tea that was so bad you wanted your money back? Not, well, okay, so the worst cigar I've ever had was a Gurkha Park Ave when they first came out. I haven't had one since, but I just could not. That was just horrible. And tea, yes, I've had some teas, but I totally forget what they were. It was just like a shot in the dark tea cake. It was cheap, so I didn't really care. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I was going with, if it's good, great. If it's not, oh well. And it was not. What's up, VCR? Yeah, my day was pretty boring, actually. My mom came up from their winter hideout. So she's up for the week. Went out to breakfast with her with my grandma this morning. Other than that, I just kind of chilled, did a little work on the lathe. So I parted off the bowl that I've been making. I've been making a segmented bowl. I parted that off. So now I just need to finish the bottom of that. And that was it. I really need to clean my shop. My shop is a freaking disaster. Because I have a whole bunch of projects I want to do. I'm going to do some cigar tubes. Nobody's ordered an ashtray yet. A couple of people have said that they've had interest, but haven't committed. So I'm going to make some more ashtrays. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some cigar tubes because I have a huge hunk of solid Spanish cedar, so I'll be able to make a ton of solid Spanish cedar cigar tubes. So that will be cool. You pretty much never see those. If I could find a little tiny button hygrometer to put on them, I would. So if anybody has, not that they're going to be very accurate, it'd be nice to have them just in case, but you know, whatever. What else? So cigar tube. I need to make a cross-cut sled for my table saw to make segmented stuff easier. I made that segmented bowl. I have enough wood to make 2 more of those segmented bowls, so I'll film the process of that because it's pretty fun. I need to get some more pen kits. I just have a couple that I'll be able to turn in the next couple days, but I'm gonna have to put in an order to get pen kits if people would like that. Let's see, going down. Not surprised to hear is Gurkha. Gurkha has offer. Actually, that's the only Gurkha that I haven't liked that I've tried, and I've smoked at least 20 different Gurkhas. I don't know what was wrong with it. I mean, I would try it again. It's been about 10 years since I've had one, the Park Ave. So I'm not against trying it again. It could just be, I was just weird that day. My, body chemistry might have been weird that day. Where do you purchase most of your hats? Amazon. They have a large selection and they have Prime shipping, so I can get them in a couple days. So Amazon is where I've purchased most of my hats. I've purchased a couple at like Lids, which is, for those who don't know, is like a chain hat store that's usually in malls. For as far as these type of hats, Kangol is probably the only brand that they carry in this style for the most part. I believe my Dockers that I got, it was a gift, but I believe my wife said they got it at either a Macy's or a Kohl's. Yeah. That's cool. And about your job, is it boring? Do you enjoy it? My job. I like my job. My job's fun. I pretty much just puzzle solve. I basically have to figure out why pricing errors happened and fix those. So most of my day is solving puzzles because I get all the escalations for the people who can't figure out why something happened. It ends up getting sent to me, and I have to hunt down that type of stuff. I also do a lot of like, I guess you could call it consulting for development of internal apps, internal applications, and all that, and enhancements to systems, as well as working with outside suppliers to enhance our communications, our electronic communications back and forth. So that's kind of what I do. Smooth Piper. If you ever see a hat in one of my videos, I usually put a link to that specific hat in the description. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a couple bucks. Doesn't cost you any. I probably actually more get like 72 cents or whatever. It doesn't cost you anything else if you just click through my links, but I try to put links to all my hats. A couple of them have been discontinued, so I send to the most similar. I think really the only one that's discontinued is one of the Kangles that I have is a tweed Kangle. They don't make it anymore. It's one of the oldest hats that I've had. I've had it for almost 12 years. Still really nice. Do I have a price for ashtray? Do I have an ashtray price chart? Not offhand. I can tell you maple and oak are going to be 35. And any similar priced raw material wood. I just know maple and oak tend to be about the same. Ash is probably also going to be 35. Just because a lot of it grows around here. Poplar would probably be 35, but then you can go up to, like, if you want a solid purple heart, that's going to be way more expensive. If you want like maple burl, we'd be talking like $75 for a maple burl type of, maybe even more. I'm not sure. I'd have to check, because these are just shy of 8 inches across by 2 inches thick. I could do some segmented ones, so similar to the bowl that I'm working on. I could do like an oak bottom, or even like a purple heart bottom, and then make either some sort of design on with like 2 layers or something like that. So really it comes down to exactly what you want. If you want some crazy exotic wood, it's obviously going to be more expensive. If you want some readily available domestic, especially anything that's native to the Northeast, anywhere like, if it's native to New England area, then it's going to be cheaper for me to get. If it's native and abundant, obviously if it's like Che Chen, which only grows down in like part of Mexico and going into like Arizona and California a little bit, that'll be a lot more expensive. Or like mesquite, or anything that grows in very limited places is obviously going to be more expensive, especially if it doesn't grow in New England. Let's see. Does your job make me more interested in puzzle type games? I've always been interested in puzzle type games. Back when I was a kid, point and click adventure games were really popular. So you had Monkey Island. Well, you had the whole Monkey Island series, 1 through 4. Big fan of those. You had Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle, which I think pretty much all those games were Lucas games. I don't think Lucas Games exists anymore. They might. I don't know. So those. There was an Indiana Jones, also Lucas Games. Myst and Riven, that whole series. So I was a big fan of those types of games. So I was already into that. I'm already kind of a logic person in general. Like so doing these types of things is not out of the norm. Skip just got a Greek fisherman's cap and loves it. Very sailor type handsome male hat. That's cool. I was just wondering because I've seen a lot of jobs and they don't seem enjoyable, but I guess you can't judge by the title. Nope. Yeah, it's a job. I'd rather not have a job, of course, but if I had to, there are worse jobs than mine, so. But that's kind of why I'm getting into woodworking a little bit too, so I can make a little money on the side. I mean, if I could grow it into a business, that'd be sweet. But if I could make a couple bucks out here and there, then It'll be worth it. Wish I just had a maid to clean up my workshop though. I'm horrible. I'm really horrible at keeping stuff clean. Because after I finish a project, the last thing I want to do is clean. Like I'm shooting above my desk, but my desktop is a freaking wreck. Yeah. Usually what's behind my camera or out of shot of my camera is freaking horrible. So this is a very deliberate camera shot, so you guys can't see the horrible mess that is my office. Yeah. So, somebody did mention, asked if I was in a different room. Not a different room from where I've been doing live streams. My like reviews and stuff, my bookshelf is over here. And all that. But for streaming, I have my computer monitors all in front of me here, and it's just a pain in the butt to turn my desk to shoot that. And I don't want this to live in the middle of the room, so this is just over in the corner. And I have one reason why it might look a little different is because I've actually pushed my desk back farther, and this camera is now on a clamp mount, so it's actually clamped to the so I have a four monitor stand here, and it's actually clipped to the center post. So I have pushed everything back, so the shot might look a little wider than normal, or what it used to. So that might be why it looks a little different. But so I did push the desk back probably about 2 feet, because I used to have my tripod sitting behind that. But I got a clamp mount, so I now have this camera. Also, this is my other camera. This is my Canon T3i, and I usually shoot it on a T5i. And now this can be my permanent webcam with the clamp. So this one's gonna be my permanent webcam. Let's see, Eileen's Dream. Yeah, Eileen's Dream isn't bad. The cigar Eileen's Dream is pretty good too. And I have been sitting too long yapping and not smoking. Let's see, what else do we got? Bamboo, is that an option or too exotic? Bamboo, yeah, I can get bamboo. I can actually check the price on that. No, bamboo is actually pretty decent. I don't think it would be super expensive. I don't think my local place would have it, but I'd definitely be able to order it. Let's see. Bamboo. And I'd have to do a glue up on it, most likely. What size is this? 8 inches. So bamboo would probably be... That's a little expensive for the board. I'll have to look around to see if I can find it cheaper. But if it's at this price that I'm looking at it, just the wood alone would be $30. So you'd be looking, kind of at like $55 probably for bamboo. I can look around and see if there's anywhere cheaper. But yeah, so bamboo, I'd say probably the highest it would be about 55. And And then, yeah, the highest would probably be 55 for bamboo. Ever thought of making pipe stands? Yes, it's on my list of things to design and figure out. I still have a few pieces of equipment that I need to get. So there's actually like 3 major pieces I need. I need a bandsaw, I need a drill press, and I need a jointer and a planer. So I kind of need like those 4 big things, and that will run at least $1,000, even if I'm buying used. So I'm slowly, but I definitely would need a drill press to make decent pipe stands. So yes, it's on the list of things to do, but they won't be too soon unless I figure out a better way, a different way to make them without having to get those, at least not getting a drill press for those. I might be able to figure out how to do it on a router table. That is a possibility. Actually, I have an idea in my head at the moment, so maybe. What else is on here? Bamboo. Our art room is a total mess. Our 3 remaining teenagers have decided to dump all their stuff in the room. Yep, that seems to happen, though my wife and I don't have any kids, and we just do that everywhere. Eileen's dream is a constant in our house. Yeah, my wife likes it. I'm not a huge fan of the pipe, the Eileen's dream pipe tobacco, but the cigar is good. I don't mind the cigar. Yep, it's just Steph here. Skip is watching football. What would be so cool, because I need a pipe stand bad. All right, well, I will see if I can think of a way to do it with the tools that I have available to me. If I could figure something out, I can always run to my uncle's house. He lives just 10 minutes away, so I could, if I can get most of it together, if I can get a plan together, I can run over there and make what holes I need on his drill press and figure that out. But again, same thing, I can make it out of whatever wood you want. It could be just a plain wood with a stain, or just just a clear coat of some kind, or painted, or whatever you want. Let's see. Gonna go smoke some gaslight. Let's go, bro. You're coming. Does that mean you are on your phone and you're carrying your phone outside to go smoke? Wood by Right. I think I've seen his stuff. I've been mostly watching turning stuff, so lathe work. And he seems to do more, other woodworking, which is perfectly fine. You see what's in his shop. I'm curious. Yeah, he makes like tables and beds and all types of other tables, dressers. Yeah, so yeah, that's cool. But no, I haven't watched a ton of his stuff yet. But yeah, I'll definitely check him out. Let's see, where are you guys? There you go. If you guys are in Instagram, Rad Pipia has like 300 stands. Cheap vintage redone. Cool. Yeah, I have like a couple of vintage stands. I've just found them at like antique shops or whatever. For wood turning, I've like watched the Pole Barn, and Nick Z. I always forget. I always forget what his last name is. He's a UK guy who turns all types of funny stuff. Kyle Toth. He makes really cool like vases and stuff. So I watch like his stuff. Let's see. I love working turning videos. Yep, just answered that one. Really, I gotta see because I have pipes that need to smoke, but they're in pipe socks and out of view, and I forget about them. Yeah, yeah, I have all mine on a stand. Kyle Toth is ridiculous. Yes, he is. He's pretty amazing. I need to get a bigger lathe so I can do bigger stuff. But yeah, his work is pretty sweet. What's my favorite type of wood? I don't really have a favorite. I mean, there's a lot of really unique stuff out there. I think black palm is pretty awesome. And then you have the woods like Purple Heart, which are just naturally purple, which is really cool. So you don't have to paint them because it's purple. And there's Bloodwood and Yellow Heart, which are red and yellow. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that's naturally blue. Blue has historically always been the thing that you can't really find natural because there's not a lot of things that are naturally blue. Which is why blue paint was so expensive way back during like the Renaissance era, because you know it'd have to be made out of cobalt or whatever. I don't know how they made blue paint, but I think it was like cobalt or something like that, and that was really expensive and really rare. How did they make blue paint during the Renaissance? A deep blue paint was made by crushing valuable gemstones. So that would make it very expensive. So yeah, blue has always been historically a hard thing to get out of nature because there's not a whole lot of natural things that are blue that are stable blue. Obviously, there's some plants, there's some flowers that have blue petals and whatnot, but keeping that blue color from degrading is a problem. So yeah, crushing up the gemstones or using cobalt and stuff like that. What do you think about resin and wood turning? I think it's awesome. I need to get myself a pressure pot so I can add resin and stuff to my stuff because I love all that stuff. I think it's really cool. Smooth Piper says he likes oak. Oak is a good wood. I mean, this ashtray that I made is white oak, so you know it just looks really nice. So. But yeah, I think black palm is probably one of the coolest looking woods out there. It's like it looks like there's like little straws or tiny little like cylinders of black, you know, all squished together with some lighter colors inside. TnT back, email Skip and we'll send some cigars. Sweet, yeah. If you have anything that you want to send my way for review, I'll shoot you an email too. But my PO box is in the About tab, and my email address is in the About tab of the channel. So should be able to find it there. And just let me know if you send something so I know to go check my P.O. box. But I will send you an email as well. I will actually I'll put that in my... I'll open up that email right now just so I have it ready to go. I basically don't have anything that has been released within... I think my last major purchase was at the end of 2017. Let me bring up my tobacco list here. I have a list of my inventory and when it was purchased, so I can see when the last thing that hit my inventory was. No, actually I did make a big purchase at the beginning of 2019. So if it's been released since, although pretty much all of it that I bought was older stuff, I don't really have any new releases. So anything that's been released in the past probably 2 years is most likely that I don't have it. Like I haven't had any of the Southern Draws. I haven't had any of the Canes. And a whole bunch of others. Let's see, Heath Knuckles, Resin Turning. Yeah, I've watched his stuff. Nick, whatever was it, Zametti? Nick Zametti. I've watched a ton of his stuff. He does really fun stuff. So I'd really like to try some of the stuff that he's done and or improve upon it or do some kind of stuff based off of that. Ben's Works. I'm not sure if I've watched him. What's up? I'm guessing that's Tariq. I'm trying to go back where you... Let's see. Nice hat. Thanks, Tariq. It is a fan set. It's a really, really nice hat. I really like it. Here, I'll even drop a link for those who are interested in the chat. My hat of the day is a fan set. Big fan. What is your favorite place to smoke? You're looking at it. My office. My office is nice. I have a nice little... Over here in the corner, which I don't think... unless the only time that I've filmed that spot is in the video where I made the cigar ashtray. That is kind of my little smoking spot over there. I have a nice armchair over there, and I have a nice leather ottoman over there, and I have my computers over here, but they're all on swivels, so I can turn the monitor, throw on Netflix, turn off the lights. I just have a tiny little like desk lamp over there, and I'll sit and I'll just watch Netflix or Amazon or whatever, and sit over there and smoke and enjoy. And sometimes my cat will come sit on my lap because for whatever reason, the cat that I didn't want, he loves me for whatever reason, even though my wife got the cat. So yeah, so that is normally the place that I sit. I just lounge. It's right next to the window too, so I can open it up, get some nice cool air. Even if it's 10 degrees outside, I'll make a little crack and get some nice cool air in here, because with my computer, I have 4 monitors here. It can get pretty warm in here, so I can crack it open and it doesn't flip the heat on. Let's see. Jimmy Johnson just made the Hall of Fame. Which Jimmy Johnson? Jimmy Johnson, the football player? Or the coach? Because when I think Jim Johnson, I think the guy who did all the music for the WWF back during the Attitude Era. That smart should do that myself. I'm not sure what you're referencing because I was talking and I'm not sure what you're specifically referencing. So hit that again. You have any out of production tobacco? Yeah, I have some McClellans. I talked about earlier. I have so I have Frogmorton. I have Royal Tudor or Tudor Castle, I think it's called. I have one of their Syrian Latakia blends just sitting over there. I have Blackwoods Flake. I have a Dark Star. And I think I have some Red Cake jarred up somewhere. So yeah, I have a few of the McClellans. My favorite vapor actually got discontinued. Luckily, I knew about it and bought like 15 tins of it, which is Suge Raigen. I actually have a gigantic thing over here. So here I have my my tin of Frogmorton. I also have some Brebbia Latakia flake when it still had Syrian. It has Cyprian now. But I do have some of that. What else do I got that's discontinued? Obviously, I have some of the original Dunhills, of course. But for the most part, discontinued stuff. Not sure. Oh, I didn't even know I had this. I have a British Woods from McClellan as well that I haven't opened. But the Suge Raigen, I bought like 15 tins of it when it was announced that it was being discontinued. Drew Estate. So Drew Estate was making pipe tobaccos. They came in and they came out quickly. The Suge line was blended by Drew Estate. Huge fan of it. It was really, really good, and it was only around for a few years. I bought the God series. I got all 4 of them. This one was the only one that I opened before they got announced that it was discontinued, so I had to buy a bunch of them because they are really, really good. So I got like 15 tins of that. And the artwork was just epic. I mean, this is amazing artwork. And that's kind of one thing that kind of sucks with all the stupid labels getting put. What I think they should really do is they should package the tin inside of just a cardboard sleeve. And the cardboard sleeve has the retarded labels on it. Sorry, I said the R word. I apologize for that. I know some people find that offensive. It just slipped. So they should package them in a cardboard sleeve, put the stupid label on the box, and then when you take the tin out, then you got a good looking tin that you can put on your shelf, and you don't have bastardized artwork. What else do I have? Here's my tin of Dark Star I have sitting over here. But yeah, for the most part, I don't have a ton of discontinued stuff. Obviously, I have some Dunhill stuff. I have some early morning pipe that was still under the Dunhill brand, but it was the stuff right before it went out, which doesn't really matter because it's the same exact company that's making the Peterson, so it's probably exactly the same. Okay, guys, I have to work in the morning, and I also have homeschool assignments to print out. Well, all right, have fun. I will shoot an email if you are still listening to me, if you're gone. Have I ever tried Edgeworth? Yes, I have tried the original Edgeworth. Somebody sent me some, probably going on 10 years ago now. Somebody sent me so we're looking at like, it was probably 2011, maybe, yeah, probably 2011. Somebody sent me some Edgeworth, and it was from like it was like from 1992. So it was very old Edgeworth at the time. So yes, I have tried it. I don't remember much about it. Obviously Lane has the current, they call it ready rubbed. That is supposed to be exactly the same as Edgeworth. The tobacco list. Yes, I have a giant tobacco list, if that's what you're referencing, my tobacco list that I have. Recently got me a can of Dragon's Weed. Is that from... crap. Who's that from? Okay. We're back now, I think. Sorry about that. If anybody knows where I was when I dropped, please let me know what I was talking about when I dropped. I was actually connected through London still, because I use a VPN through London, so I just closed the VPN. Let's see. So I'll go back. Edgeworth, yes, I've had it. I've had some really old. The tobacco list, if you were talking about my list that I have, yes, I have a giant list. I keep an inventory of all the cigars and all the tobacco I have on hand. Recently got a can of Dragon Weed. I forget who makes that. Before I go, is this going to be a regular thing? Probably. I will try to do Sundays more regularly. Nothing seems to be on my Sunday evenings for the most part. So yeah, I'll try to do Sunday evenings on a more consistent basis. Just going through the holidays was a bit rough, and I have other projects that I do. I also have a wrestling podcast that I do live as well, but usually all that stuff lands on Thursday, when I usually do it after AEW on Wednesday nights. The channel's called That's Wrestling if you're interested. It'd be cool if people would go over there and subscribe, because I need more subscribers. So hopefully I can get a little bit more reach. Love Blackwood's Flake. Yeah, it's good stuff. Somebody luckily sent me a bit before I actually purchased the tin that I have. That tin looks metal. Yes, the Suge tins were pretty sweet. But like I was saying, Drew Estate, they came in and they left quickly. They were all only blending for a couple of years. Have I tried Gurkha's His Majestic Reserve? Is that the ridiculously expensive cigar? No, I haven't. I have not tried that. Paul the Piper, hey, what's up? How's it going? Sorry, I was dropped right when you came in. Hopefully you're still around and didn't bail on me. I just had a little internet issue because I connect to the UK so I can watch AEW on Fight TV. Because if you're in the US, they do not let you watch it, and I didn't want to pay $30 just to get Sling TV just to watch one show. So I get it through Fight TV. So I have to VPN out of the country. Also, very strangely, when I watch New Japan stuff, if I VPN into a server in Japan, I get a way better connection than even if I wasn't on VPN at all, which is kind of weird. So I could be on like no VPN at all, connecting to New Japan, and the stream is worse than if I actually VPN into Japan and then connect. It's kind of weird. Dragon's Weed was GLP. Oh, I did not know that. He hasn't released anything for a long time. I think he's kind of retired from making new blends, which is kind of a bummer because, his blends were awesome. Like, I've never had a bad GLP. And I like that he made plugs. He made a lot of plugs and flakes and broken flake. I'm a big fan of that type of style over the ribbon cut and whatnot. All right, I think I'm up to date on all the questions. If I missed a question, just shoot it back in here. If there's something I didn't answer, just shoot it back into the chat so I can answer it. That little glitch kind of set me back, so I'm not 100% sure where I was. But yeah, I'd like to do this more on a regular basis on Sundays. My wife is staying at a friend's tonight, so I could easily do this without much issue. But Sunday nights tend to be fine because we both have to work in the morning. I just had a lot of vacation, and we just were doing all types of stuff over the holidays, so that kind of went off. Do I plan on doing more woodworking videos? Yes, I plan on doing a lot more woodworking videos since YouTube is really hating the ATF content, which kind of sucks because two-thirds of the ATF content is like two of my favorite hobbies. So of course they're not a fan of it, but woodworking is relatively safe. So yes, I'll be doing more woodworking videos, and then I can make something, tactile. If people want to support the channel, then they could actually get an actual item if they want to support the channel instead of just, donating or whatever. I got a bit disillusioned back in August when everything was going down with YouTube. It was just kind of annoying, and that's kind of when I started up my wrestling podcast. The wrestling podcast has been okay. The YouTube numbers are pretty crap, but the actual podcast numbers aren't that bad. I mean, they're not as good as I'd want them to be, but they're not doing that bad. So I was kind of focused on that for the past, the past quarter, since that there's a lot of stuff going on in that realm that I cover. So now that kind of everything's settled down and settled into a groove, yeah, I'm hoping to do a lot more. So the woodworking videos, and just in general, I have a little bit more time freed up now that the holidays are gone, a little less stress for all this stuff. But yeah, so yes, I'll be doing more woodworking videos. I think the next one I will be doing, I plan on making a Honduran rosewood pen. Okay, yes. So I'll get to that in a second. So I'm planning on making a Honduran rosewood pen with an acrylic spacer instead of the metal spacer that comes with it. So that is what I plan on doing next. The thing behind me is actually, it's chainmail, and it says longevity. I made that, I want to say 16, 17 years ago. It's steel, the black steel with bright aluminum. Probably needs to be cleaned a little bit because the aluminum's kind of a little, yeah. Yeah, I've made a lot of chainmail in the past. I haven't been making it recently because there was kind of a flood of it after the Lord of the Rings movies. There was a flood of people making chainmail, so it's kind of there. So I'll make chainmail jewelry from once in a while. I made like all the jewelry for my sister's bridesmaids and whatnot. So I can like do that type of stuff too. Any pipes, as far as the woodworking goes, not so much because I suck at miking stems. Anything I have to have like super good dexterity and artistic vision that isn't mathematical, I'm really bad at. So I could maybe in the future, I would definitely just have to sit down and like make stems over and over and over again until I can get the hang of making the stem exactly how I'd want to make them, until they're right. I just don't have the patience at the moment to kind of teach myself how to make the stems properly. Yeah. I could use some like pre-made stems, like the acrylic ones, and do freehands. That I could probably do without much issue. So pipes are definitely a possibility in the future. Some freehand pipes if people like freehands. So yeah, I mean that could be a possibility if I can find some decent already made stems that don't look pre-made. I think Vermont Freehand has some decent ones, so I'll check over there at some point. It's kind of the bit end that's the problem that I can't do very well. But yes, I would like to make pipes. That'd be fun. My tea is cold at this point, I think. Let me heat up some water here. And somebody sent me a text. Kind of tea I am drinking. Let me wait till that starts screaming because I don't know how bad it is. I do have a chainmail shirt that I've made. It's like came out to like 16,000 rings. I really need to clean my boiler because the screaming is because there's a lot of scale buildup in there. I have really mineralized water here. I mean, it tastes good, but it just like leaves behind a mineral residue on everything. Even though I still filter it, but it's just a carbon filter, so it doesn't filter out like everything. I do have reverse osmosis for my saltwater fish tank, but I don't have any way to store it for drinking water. I just store it for my fish tank in 5-gallon buckets. What's up, Grumpy Piper? Sorry I'm late. What I'm smoking. Okay, so I am drinking. It's Munghai Day. It's a 2010 raw pour. It's the Tribute Toa. It comes in this green box. I think they pretty much make it every year, so you should be able to find it going back quite a few years. I'm not sure when they first started making it. This one's 2010, but you can find them. They're not that expensive, especially if you're buying current year and you're going to sit on them for a while. Even a 2010, you're probably only still going to pay about maybe $30 at most for a 100-gram Toa. As far as the cigar is the Alec Bradley K147. I checked online. I think they were either a Thompson's exclusive or Thompson's is the only one that has them left. Let's see. What else are we going? Are there any good cigars from Brazil? Yeah, the CAO Brasilia is amazing. I'm sure there are more. There is Brazilian filler in my own personal blend. So I'm a big fan of Brazilian tobacco. I'm actually a big fan of Colombian tobacco as well. So I use both Colombian and Brazilian fillers in my own personal blend that I make. What's up, Neff? How's it going? So yeah, there are anything from. I haven't had anything bad from Brazil. The CAO Brasilia is the one that sticks out on top of my head. I'm sure there are others. So I found a little trick for those who are lazy like me and forget to clean up their tea tray, I I just put a little bit of powdered dishwashing soap in the bottom of my tea tray, and that prevents mold from growing. Because sometimes I will, maybe on Friday I'll just leave I'll forget to clean out the tea tray on Friday, and I don't come back to it till Monday morning. So I put a little bit of dishwashing soap in the bottom, and it keeps the mold away. Tisk, how lazy. Yeah, I know. I'm really disorganized. Like I said earlier, what you're seeing is a very controlled shot. My office is a mess. My desk right in front of me is a wreck. I have headphones, a couple pipes, a couple jars of tobacco. I have a couple things of tea on here. I have a pack of gum. I have a couple things of matches. I have my tea warmer. I have my ashtray. I have some papers that I actually can just throw away because I don't need them anymore. I have a reimbursement check that I have to cash. I have some other bills on here. It's a freaking wreck. Don't leave it too long because even then it won't keep it away. It'll actually evaporate first. It'll all evaporate before it gets that far. Because it's like I'm only throwing one cup away, one tiny cup. So it's like, less than 100 ml go into the bottom. So it pretty much evaporates in like 3 days, and then it just leaves behind dishwashing crystals in the bottom. I know you might wish to see my mess, but I do not wish to show you my mess. For those who are newer to the stream, my nice handmade oak ashtray that I made that you can see in one of my recent videos. I do have these for sale. If people would want some, they can get a hold of me. I'm trying to find a place to set up like a retail, just like a storefront, but is relatively cheap. I don't know if anybody's used eCrater before. Let me know if you have. So eCrater looks to be decent. They don't charge you for setting up a store, and they only charge you for sales that are directed to your store by them. So it's really not that expensive. Etsy, is pretty flooded these days, and it costs money just to set stuff up, and they take a bigger percentage. So maybe Etsy in the future if it's better, but eCrater sounds pretty decent. They have like 65,000. I think they might even have up to 100,000 stores now. They have quite a lot, so I might check them out. I'll have to check. Etsy is crazy. Yeah, I mean, they're so flooded these days with all types of stuff. But of course, just like doing direct sales is obviously cheaper because there's less fees. Because you're going to pay, your regardless of where you go. If like Etsy takes 3%, but then also PayPal takes 3%, so they take, on those you're already getting like a 7% hit on those. So if like somebody contacts me direct and they send the money direct to me, just like through PayPal or Cash App. Cash App, I think is Cash App free? I don't know if Cash App is 0%. People have sent me money through Cash App, but I've never sent anybody money through Cash App. So yeah, so maybe Cash App. If people get a hold of me, they can send me cash directly. So that will save some money. Good portion of that is resale, like Etsy's intent was homemade stuff. Yeah, Etsy is basically turned into eBay without the auction. eBay without the auction function. So it's supposed to be crafted stuff, but it's a lot of resell and found stuff. Well, I guess that's still technically resell. But yeah, I mean I've developed I have obviously a decent sized fan base out here. Well, on this channel. So, if I can be viewer supported, that'd be great. I can pull in some more viewers. That'd be awesome if they want support. I might reopen Patreon and just not really have any like rewards on the tiers if people just want to donate, because unfortunately you can't on YouTube. You can't have the subscription function on YouTube until you hit like 40,000 subs, unless you're grandfathered in from the pilot. And 40,000 is a long ways away. Favorite pizza. I don't eat pizza very often, but favorite pizza, there's a lot of different ones. Just cheese, mushroom, and black olive is pretty high up. Bacon and mushroom, and I'll go with the bastardized pizza of Hawaiian pizza. I love Hawaiian pizza. Could tier your crafts. Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Like if you're subscribed at a certain tier for X number of months, you can get X item or whatever. So that is a possibility to add on to Patreon. But, just putting on some Patreon in there. Pineapple, and I'm subbing. You know what the greatest thing, but I've never actually gotten to try it? There was people always argue on social media about pineapple on pizza. I saw the most awesome pizza. They took a slab of pineapple, put sauce on that, put cheese and Canadian bacon, and it was awesome. So there was no bread. The crust was actually a slab of pineapple. So I would love to try that, but I have moved to a keto diet, so that's too high carb for me. Anchovy and sausage. Oh yeah, that's I don't like anchovies, I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't eat a ton of pizza. I used to when I was a kid, and that's why I got fat. I ate so much pizza when I lived in Vancouver, when I went to film school, because there was a pizza right next to our film school. So when we got let out for lunch, and they had cheap single slices, so good. It was like $1 a slice. So we would all go over there and just decimate the place. Our class would get let out, 30 of us would all go over there and get pizza. So I ate so much pizza when I lived in Vancouver. How is your sister? That seems like a strange question. And she can answer that herself if you know her. Not my place to talk about her. Where was No, I was born in New Hampshire. I live near where I was born. I just went to film school in Vancouver. One day I should make a traditional pizza margarita. I have no idea what is a traditional pizza margarita. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was born and grew up in New Hampshire. Went through, up through high school, a little bit of college, and then I went to film school in Vancouver. And then I came back to New Hampshire, lived in Columbus, Ohio for 8 years, and then came back. Because everything is shot in Vancouver. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's shot in Vancouver. I always see them shooting near my old apartment. Whenever I'm watching a TV show, it's like, oh, I've been there. I used to go there. I used to go there. I physically ran into Elijah Dushku once. She was getting out, and I even remember what she was driving. She was driving a BMW X5. She was getting out of her car in front of an antique store, and she walked across the sidewalk while I was walking down the sidewalk, and basically she wasn't paying attention, and I wasn't paying attention, physically ran into Elijah Dushku while she was going into an antique store, like half a block from my apartment. She is very short and smokes like a chimney. I was there when they were filming True Calling. I saw her and Jason Priestley when they were filming a scene in Vancouver. Actually, Jason Priestley is really short too. I saw when they were shooting the 4400. I saw them shooting a lot of Smallville episodes. I saw them shooting Blade 3. I believe there was I think it was called White Noise with Michael Keaton. They shut down the road in front of my apartment, which was awesome. What other sets did I see? I saw them shooting Touching Evil, is a show on USA that was really good. Saw them shooting Dead Like Me. What else did I see them shooting when I was out there? I can't remember. The movie that everybody hated. I saw them filming. I saw them shooting Catwoman when I was out there. So I saw Halle Berry on set. I met Ryan Phillippe when I forget what movie he was shooting. Supernatural. I don't think they were shooting Supernatural while I was out there. I think Supernatural started right after I left. I'm not sure what year Supernatural started. But yeah, always came across tons of film sets while walking around. For the most part, Vancouver is super easy to shoot in. It's super cheap. And if you don't have to shut down, like a lot of the productions won't even like shut down the sidewalk. They'll shut down the sidewalk for a take, but other than that, so they'll shut down the sidewalk for like 10 minutes to shoot a scene, and then they'll let the foot traffic go. So you can basically walk through the middle of the film set all the time. Obviously, they do shut down roads once in a while. But if they're just shooting stuff on the sidewalk, they won't even shut down the roads or anything like that. Unfortunately, the one person I always wanted to see was Laura Harris, because she's my favorite, because she's super hot, when they were filming Dead Like Me. But unfortunately, I never saw her in person when I was out there. I'd always watch online to find out where certain... 2005, yeah. So I left Vancouver right before, because I was there from September 2000. trying to do the math here. I was there from September 2003 till September 2004. So yeah, I wouldn't have seen Supernatural. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get to see Laura Harris because she's hot, and I really wanted to meet her. Can't remember too many other famous. I always forget the dude's name. He was in the 4400. He used to be one of the prosecutors on Law and Order, one of the original ones way back in the early 90s, but I'm totally spacing his name. I ran into him a couple times while they were shooting 4400 because I was there when they were shooting the pilot, the first season. So I was there for that. Saw him a couple times. I saw Morgan Freeman riding around in a car being towed behind a trailer because they're shooting something, but I forget what movie it was. So yeah, it was a fun time being out there. Thin crust tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, basil, red, white, and green. Yeah, got it. A margarita pizza. Got it. Yeah, like I said, I'm on keto at the moment, so I've taken up a keto diet at this point, so pizza is probably not going to be in it for quite a while. Vancouver was really nice. As far as like city, I'm not really huge on big cities, but Vancouver was really nice. Like I did not feel unsafe walking home at like 2 a.m. from a friend's house to my house to my apartment, though I was in like the nicest part of the city. So if you go kind of the east side of the city is a little rough. So I mostly stayed in kind of the nicest part of the city, Yorktown area. So it could be a little different, but like I said, I was pretty much in the nicest part of the city the whole time. I can't believe how much rent is now. Like I was looking, rent in the building that I used to be in. So in 2004, I was in a high rise. It was like 30 floors. I was on the 15th floor, which was technically the 13th floor because 13 and 14 were unlabeled. Stay away from Surrey, yeah. So I was technically on physically the 13th floor, labeled the 15th because they skip the 13th and 14th floor in Vancouver because 13 is obviously an unlucky number. A lot of high rises skip the 13th floor, and apparently 14 is an unlucky number in Asian culture, and there is tons and tons of Asian refugees that have moved to Vancouver. So there's a massive Asian population there, mostly Chinese and Vietnamese. And anyways, there's a 2-bedroom with 1 bedroom had a full bath attached, and then there was another 3/4 bath, and then there's also a decent kitchen. There was a sunroom, like breakfast nook area that was really awesome, and then like a little den and a living room. So it was pretty big, and we were paying 1,200 Canadian at the time, which at the time was like $1,000 US. So split between 2 of us, it was only $500 a month. Electricity, heat, water, trash, all that included. And now, like the same thing in the same building, the same apartment is like $2,400. So it's like doubled in price since I was there. It's insane. But Vancouver is nice because the public transit is super easy to get around. There's grocery stores like every 2 blocks, so it was easy to just walk to the grocery store, every couple of days just to get a couple things and, a couple bags and bring them home. The public transit, even back then in 2004, you pop online, say where you are, say where you're going, and it will give you, okay, go take this bus to here, get off this bus, switch to this bus, get off here, and then go take the train to here, and then jump on this bus to here. So you could travel super easy. And I don't know other cities, but there you would get on the bus, you'd throw in $2, and it'd print out this card that had a magnetic strip on it, and the buses and the train were all connected, and you basically got 90 minutes to travel as much as you needed to. So you'd get off the bus and you have your little ticket. You get on another bus and you just put the ticket in, it'd scan the ticket, give it back to you so you could keep moving. And then you could get off the bus, get on the train, same thing, just scan the little ticket and it gives the ticket back to you and you can continue moving. So basically you can travel as much as you want for like 90 minutes on $2 and switch from multiple buses and trains and get where you need to go. So super easy to travel around. Everything's in walking distance. Everything is laid out in a grid, and every other street is one way in the opposite direction. So it's super. The traffic isn't bad, even if you had a car. So I think I never had a problem not having a car for an entire year, or really having any. I had friends with cars, but we would maybe use it once or twice. Like I had one of my classmates lived in Burnaby, which is south of Vancouver, so we'd go to her house for dinner or whatever, and a whole bunch of us would hang out and eat and all that fun stuff. And then Chinatown in Vancouver is pretty cool. Luckily, one of my classmates was from Hong Kong, which made it easy because everything was in Mandarin or Cantonese. Like I went to a restaurant, there was no English on the menu. So he had to translate for me and order for me because, I don't speak Cantonese or Mandarin. And you couldn't get a fork if you wanted to, so I had to learn to use chopsticks. But we would always go, it was only like 3 blocks from school to go get into the outskirts of Chinatown, and they had just amazing, like, to-go street food, like dumplings and the big, I think they're still called dumplings, but they're like the big rolls stuffed with like pork or duck and stuff. Oh, so good. I gained so much weight when I lived out there, even though I was walking like, it was like a 1.5 mile walk to get to school every day. So just walking to school and back was like 3 miles, and then I'd walk everywhere else. So I was probably walking at least like 5 to 7 miles a day, just getting around, going to, we would film somewhere, and, so yeah. And I still gained a ton of weight. So what else is going on with everybody out there? Anybody have any questions or discussion topics? I was just chilling. I mean, it's only 9 o'clock here on the East Coast, so I still got some time before I go to bed. Talk about how hot Jennifer Aniston back in Friends was good looking. She's still good looking now, and she's like 50. Thinking about being Orange Cassidy for Halloween. That would be pretty funny. What's up, Grant? Yes, I did hear about Laparca dying. He passed away. He took a horrible bump onto the outside and knocked himself out. And I think he had brain damage. They had to do emergency surgery, but this is back in November, I think. And yeah, he passed away in the yesterday or the day before. Have you found any of the new Peterson Dunhill stuff? I mean, it's all available on all the normal websites now. Of course, you're in Canada, so I have no idea when you guys are going to get it, if you get it at all. But it is on all the normal websites now. I just haven't gotten any. Aniston has not aged at all. Yeah, I know. That one's pretty amazing. And for Grant, what I'm smoking it's a Alec Bradley K147. It's small. It's a short run. I'm not sure if it was a Thompson exclusive, but Thompson's is the only one that still has it. They're pretty good. I did a review of it. It's review number 9. If you want to check it out. Which that review was quite a while ago. If it's number 9. I couldn't really give you accurate because I'm drinking tea, which is a really bitter tea, so it's going to throw off the flavor quite a lot. It pairs fine with what I'm drinking because the tea that I'm drinking is actually quite bitter, so it kind of brings out some more coffee and slightly sweeter notes, but I really don't remember what I said during that review, so you can go check it out. But like I said, Thompson still has it. I think they're about $5 a piece or something. It's like $94 for a box, something along those lines. Yeah, I think they're the only ones who still have it. Like I said, I'm not sure if it was an exclusive to them or not. But yeah, if you want to get the K147, this is the Robusto size that I'm smoking. It's a sun-grown. And yeah, a box is $95. You can get a 5-pack for $37 or singles for $6. This is the Robusto size. It's sun-grown. Sun-grown wrapper. And then I believe it's Honduran fillers. Oh, no. Never mind. It's made in Honduras, but it's actually a Nicaraguan Puro. So sun-grown Nicaraguan, and then binder and filler is also Nicaraguan. So it's pretty good. It's not like super heavy on the nicotine. It's definitely more. It's definitely it would definitely go great with like coffee, or a black tea or something like that. Like I said, I'm drinking a raw puer, so it's actually kind of on the bitter side, and it definitely evens out. She's an alien, like most of Hollywood. If you dress up as Austin Powers, pretty much no one would get the reference who's under like 20. Isn't that crazy that like Austin Powers 2 is what, like 21 years ago now? And Goldmember is probably what, like 18 years ago now? I just rewatched the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, which started filming 20 years ago. Completely insane. I can't believe how I feel really old. Gotta tell you, church wardens are probably the only pipes I'll smoke. They look dope, smoke great, and feel majestic. Church wardens are fun, but I'm a clincher, so they don't work that great for me. And I like to smoke. I like to smoke a pipe while I'm driving. It's just a little too long. I do have a couple church wardens. My wife has a couple church wardens. I have a SMS, Meerschaum. That's really nice. Yeah, gold member was 2002, so 18 years ago. And then she picked up a Roma Briar church warden. It's kind of a straight, and the Meerschaum is a full bent, so it comes down. It's like a saxophone almost. I like really bulky pipes. For the most part. So like, here's one that I just have sitting on my desk. It's my Albin Sail. I believe this is Albin. So this is nice, compared to my hand. I mean, that's a big pipe compared to my hand. So I really like the big bulky pipes, and church wardens usually don't tend to be that bulky anyways. And if they were, they would be freaking heavy as hell when they're like out, a foot away from your face, and all that leverage on your teeth. Not very good. So pretty much all mine are, they're more on the bulkier side. The heavier they are, the more usually bent style I have. I have a few like just straight Dublins or pokers, or not pokers, just, regular straight Dublins that are lighter. I have a Peterson and a GBD that are both, straight, but they're relatively light. I mostly smoke sitting, and clinching annoys me. Yeah. I do too. I usually smoke sitting and not doing anything, but I still end up clinching because I'm usually doing something else with my hands, whether it's like reading a book or, just navigating on my phone, just chilling or something like that. Canadians. Yes, I don't have, I have like one Canadian. Yeah, I have one pipe that I would actually classify as a Canadian. I have a few Cobbs. Like to get a nose. I hate nose warmers just because having such a short distance between the bowl and they just smoke too hot. Did Winston Churchill come up with the Churchill style? No. It was just the size that he favored was the 7x50 or the 7x48. The 7x48, 7x50, and it just got named after him. I'll have to look up what the actual name of the size was originally called. I don't know what the size was originally called before it was named the Churchill. When did Churchills become Churchills? The size is a standard one inside Cuban cigar factory, 7 inches long, ring gauge 47. It's named for Churchill, but the timing is disputed. Many say it was created by Romeo y Julieta in the late 1940s after a visit by Winston Churchill himself, who was an avid smoker of the Romeos in particular. Others believe it wasn't until the 50s that the Churchill name first started appearing on the Romeo y Julieta cigars. Before they were Romeo Julieta Churchills, they were Clemencios, I guess. Also known as Juliet number 2. Clemencios are now gone, and pretty much everybody calls them a Churchill at this point. So there you go. A little cigar history lesson right there. So yeah, Juliet number 2 was the original name, was the original size, also called Clemencios. I'm guessing, I don't know when anybody else took it over. When like everybody else started calling it the Churchill. I'm assuming by the time the revolution happened, that's when the government took over all the cigar factories, is when it kind of came widespread throughout the entire industry. And then it just kind of stuck from there. We need a strain of tobacco that can grow in New Hampshire. Connecticut broadleaf can grow in New Hampshire. They grow it, they grow it all along the Connecticut River Valley, mostly in Massachusetts and Connecticut, but it can grow in New Hampshire. We have pretty much the same growing season as along the Connecticut River for most of Massachusetts, for where I am specifically. Farther north, it would be a little hard, but Connecticut broadleaf, super easy to grow here. I have no tobacco in front of me, just 3 types of green. 3 types of green tea, I'm guessing. Grant, what's my favorite all-time pipe tobacco blend? Might sound stereotypical. Maybe not stereotypical. Esoterica Penzance is my favorite. When I can't get Penzance, I have like 3 pounds of Penzance laying around, so I'm good on Penzance right now. Other good substitutes for Penzance that I like I guess my top 5, they're all Latakia based blends. They're all heavy Latakia. Penzance, Lancer Slices, GLP Quiet Nights, Pirate Cake, which is like 75% Latakia, and 10 Russian, Captain Earl's 10 Russians. No, actually, green tobacco. What? I don't know if you're joking or not. I can't tell the tone. Can I mail you seeds? I mean, you could mail me seeds, but I'm not going to grow them. Growing tobacco is just a pain in the ass. Growing's easy. It's the processing that's a pain in the ass. It's just cheaper to buy it and have somebody else grow it for you. I buy enough at a time, like the whole leaf. I usually buy from Leaf Only, and they have stuff from all over the world. So I buy there. I buy enough that I can get the wholesale pricing. So that's usually that's usually where I get all my whole leaf. Let's do a Kickstarter to start your own business. That would be pretty much impossible given the current regulatory crap. I have the cannabis. Got it. Okay, that type of green. Got the wacky tobacco. Given the regulatory crap in the U.S., it's basically impossible to start a tobacco business at this point unless something drastically happens with the FDA crap, and pipe tobacco and cigars are nixed from FDA regulations. If FDA is still involved, then we're totally screwed. So it's pretty much impossible. I looked into it, but I was looking into it right before the FDA thing came down. And then once the FDA thing came down, it was even worse. Even before the FDA, it was still going to be really expensive. just because of the regulatory that was already in place, there's a lot of inventory tracking you have to do. There's a lot of accounting that you have to do. The licensure is stupid expensive, and you have to renew it yearly at a stupid expensive price, regardless of how much you sell. So it would have to be a lot. You'd have to sell a lot just to break even. And one, I would not be able to sell that much to even hit the break even point. So it really would not be worth even going down that road until the FDA regulations went away. Anyways, the FDA regulations make it almost impossible now to start from scratch unless you have massive money. And then you'd be running at a loss for pretty much ever. It'd be almost impossible to make money as a new especially as a new pipe tobacco maker, but especially cigars, same thing. It'd be almost impossible, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to sell pipe tobacco and cigars, but yeah, like I said, it's almost impossible to start a new business unless you're, well, yeah, it's basically a wait and see with the FDA regulations. Especially if you're just doing your own blends, then it's kind of worse. I don't know how the importing would work. I didn't look too heavy into that by having somebody else. Obviously, the cigars, for the most part, it'd be best if they were manufactured in Central America and then imported. I did not look into that too much. You might have an easier in Canada. It would be almost impossible in Canada too. The price is just too high. Just getting in the raw materials, and then like you'd never be able to get crap you'd never be competitive in the U.S. market, which is obviously the biggest market, and you'd probably never be competitive in the Canadian market either. But yeah, so regulatory is just a pain. If the FDA gets rid of cigars out of there, then there might be an opening. But my reach is not that big. I only have 8,000 subscribers. It's not like I have a big enough reach to make anything profitable without some massive weight behind me, which obviously I do not have any stroke as far as that goes. So I mean, that'd be great. It'd be fun if I could do that, but it's not realistic at this particular juncture. But yeah, just like regulatory crap before the FDA stuff, it'd cost about 12 grand a year just to be able to manufacture cigars and pipe tobacco. So it costs just 12 grand to the federal government, like to the government plus the accounting. I'd have to get an accountant to make sure everything is straight up and all the inventory is tracked and all that. It's just a freaking nightmare. And then you have import taxes from all the different states. Yeah. Eric Amazon blend. Yeah, I'm surprised Amazon is not really in the tobacco market because they could probably make a killing. But if they did, I'm sure there would suddenly be a massive, like, federal push to have to collect taxes in every single state. And because they exist. Well, the biggest problem with Amazon doing it is that they pretty much exist in a physical location in every state. So they'd have to pay every state's tobacco tax, if they ship it if they ship it to a state they physically exist in, they'd have to pay the tax. Technically, you're supposed to pay the tax when you order it from, say, Smoking Pipes or Cigars International and all that stuff, you're supposed to pay the import tax to your state. Most people don't. I mean, I don't really know anybody who actually pays the import tax. And same with like the cost of entry to get into like say tea would be difficult as well. I don't have that much of a reach. There's already people that are way ahead in that juncture. You know, you got Yunnan Sourcing, you got White 2T, you have all those guys. I don't speak any Chinese. I'd have to physically go to China for the most part to source stuff. You can't really have a broker source it for you because that would just take all the profit out of it. So it's kind of like another problematic issue. Amazon is a terrible company, but it's so convenient. Yeah, I know. I'm let me check. I'm curious, how many orders did we have? Orders in 2019 alone. 2019. My household had 206 orders placed at Amazon in 2019. We get everything. Like, I have our dog food, our cat food. We get like pistachios on a subscription, vitamins, and a few other products that we get every single month. And yeah. So nice just to have my dog food and cat food delivered every single month. It costs the same or less than getting it locally, like from Walmart or from, PetSmart or whatever, or Petco. What if Amazon genetically made a tea that grows in New Hampshire? That would be sweet. But there isn't tea that grows anywhere close to our climate. Tea can't take long, hard freezes. The plant will just die. So unfortunately, it will not grow this far north. Like there is some tea grown in like South Carolina and North and South Carolina, and some grown in California. I haven't had any of the U.S. grown teas before, so I don't know if they're any good. And it's not like the ton of it's grown. They need to do a better job of marketing their tea, or just grow more of it, or bring over some really good Chinese tea makers and have them set up shop here. But it's too expensive. I think that's kind of one of the problems. Labor is just too expensive in the U.S. to grow a super labor-intensive crop like that. It'd be ridiculously expensive. That's why you cross tea with an evergreen. Well, rhododendron is an evergreen, and that survives up here, but I wouldn't want to drink it. You could likely grow tea in wine/fruit country, British Columbia. Probably, yeah, you could definitely grow it on the coast, like especially in, around the Vancouver area, the southwest British Columbia. You could easily grow tea there because it doesn't get cold enough. Definitely there. Definitely the Pacific Northwest would probably actually be a really decent place to grow tea. Especially because you can grow it, you'd be able to grow it in quite a lot of Oregon and Washington State as well. You'd actually probably be able to do really good in those areas because you could get relatively decent elevation as well, and it not get too cold. It won't get like below freezing too much. And if you move farther inland, especially like in Oregon. You can be on like the edge of desert, so you could definitely grow over that area, just kind of near the border of the deserts, just off the edge of the mountains there. That's actually probably good. Or you could grow some seaside tea in like Oregon and Washington State. I bet that would probably be really good. But where I am, I'm in zone 5A, I think, is where I am. And I think tea can only go down to zone 7, maybe 6. Oh, tea can only grow is hardy to zone 8. So yeah, I'm not even close. Growing zone map. Let's see. Yeah, you're good at all the Pacific, basically the entire Pacific coast. Though I probably won't go too far down the coast, but the coast of Washington and Oregon, you have tons of space. You could easily grow tea. And then all through Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and then the Carolinas. You could also grow tea in those areas too. I bet Appalachian mountain tea, I bet would actually be pretty good. But I am in zone 5, it looks like. I'm like right on the I straddle the edge of 5 and 6, so they usually call it like 5A where I am when they get a little closer down. That's the one kind of bummer about living in New Hampshire, is you kind of have that weird grow season. It's a short growing season and it gets really cold. It can get down, to negative 10 to negative 20 Fahrenheit. So yeah, it can get pretty cold, whatever that works out to. Negative 10 Fahrenheit is negative 20. Negative 10 to negative 15 is the same as negative 23 to 26 for those Celsius users. So, can't grow crap here for the most part. I guess I could get a greenhouse, but then I wouldn't be able to produce a whole lot of tea. I'd be able to produce enough just for myself. Mr. White is in zone 8. It's like 60 degrees right now. It's actually like 60 degrees right now in southern New Hampshire, but it's going to be like 20 tomorrow. It was like 58 yesterday and got up to like 60 today, and now the temperature is just like dropping like a stone right now. I'll have to check what's it supposed to be like tomorrow. Oh, it's actually supposed to be back up to, it's supposed to be 59 tomorrow. It's actually supposed to be hot for warm. 59, 54, 61 on Wednesday. So I guess it's actually going to stay pretty warm for the next few days here. But this is really strange. Strange weather for the most part for this time of year. But we have really strange, very weird ebbs and flows to our weather in New Hampshire. Yeah, like hens. Are you near Dayton or are you farther north? I can't remember where you are. Tomorrow will almost be 80. Jeez. I don't like heat though, so I'm fine where I am. So I like the colder temperatures. I do not like heat at all, so I do not like warm weather. I actually want to live farther north in the summer than I do. Oh, I live in Dayton. Okay. My sister lives in Columbus. Yeah, I used to live in Columbus. I used to live in Dublin, which I guess is technically Columbus these days. Basically, Columbus is the entirety of Franklin County for the most part. There used to be all these little townships that have been now are Columbus addresses. So I lived in Worthington, but the address was Columbus. When I lived in Dublin, the address was still Columbus. When I lived in Grove City, well, not Grove City, I think it's still Grove City, but I lived on the edge of Grove City, so I don't know what township it used to be, but it's Columbus. So I lived in a few different, what used to be different townships, but they're all Columbus now. Welcome to Manitoba. 35 in the summer and negative 40 in the winter. Yep. That's 35 degrees C in the winter, in the summer. I don't know what that works out to. What, like 100 and 102? Negative 40 in the winter is negative 40 if Fahrenheit and Celsius are exactly the same temperature. That's why they cross. Yeah, you can't grow tea in Manitoba. Definitely too cold. I haven't grown a garden in the past couple of years either. My wife wants to grow this year, but we really need to figure out what we want to grow so we can start some stuff inside. Because usually, like, if you want to grow tomatoes or something, did I say tomatoes? Tomatoes. You kind of got to start them in like March. So she needs to figure out what she wants to grow so we can start some seedlings and whatnot if she knows what she wants. Like, I have some raised beds outside. Negative 40 is conservative. Yeah. I have some raised beds outside, but they've just been growing weeds the past few years, so I'll have to clean those up. But like I said, I just have so many projects that, you know, I got all types of things that I'm working on. It's like I got to prioritize what I want to do. Do I want to deal with growing stuff or just maybe we'll get a CSA this year. But again, we probably have to order soon. Do some habaneros. My wife can't do hot peppers anymore. We used to do habaneros, really hot food all the time. But she can't do that stuff anymore. So we don't eat that hot of food. I like hot food, but since she can't eat it, we don't really cook that much hot food. We cook some like we still do like Indian food, but it's usually on the mild side. Star Wars or Star Trek? Star Wars, but pretty much just the original 3 movies because the prequels kind of sucked, and I liked Force Awakens, but I haven't even watched the other 2 because I've heard they were crap. So I haven't even bothered. So original episode 4, 5, and 6. And original cuts, not special editions, for the original 4. The project, I don't know if they've finished Jedi yet. Original restoration, fan restoration. So I know they've fully restored. So there's let's see, Harmy's Despecialized Edition is a series of fan restored original Star Wars trilogy consisting of Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. The edits are intended to reproduce the original as shown in cinemas. I believe they've finished Star Wars and Empire. Maybe they've finished Jedi too. They went through, like, they hunted down original film prints and individually, cleaned each frame, encoded in 4K, and all that fun stuff. So if you have not, you should check them out. He's saying Halo or Doom. I played more Halo than Doom, but I did play the original Doom and the original Doom 2 when they came out. I thought Disney put the original on Blu-ray already. Not unedited, I don't think, no. All of them put out on every edition put out since like 1997 has not been the original. So the despecialized project is restoring all the originals. So all the original effects, no new crap. Okay, one thing that really bugs the crap out of me about the most recent releases of the original Star Wars trilogy is, okay, when Yoda dies and when Ben dies and they appear as ghosts, they appear in the form that they were when they died. So why did they put Hayden Christensen at the end of Jedi when that was not the form he looked like when he died? That was so stupid. I can't believe he did that. That was so dumb. Doom has metal and you're a metalhead. I haven't played Doom since Doom 2 back in like 1996. Well, it came out in like 92 or 4. But I did play Quake. I played Quake 1, 2, and 3. Quake 3 we played in high school a lot. We played Q-Pong. Q-Pong was so fun. So I don't know this. I mean, there's probably a mod out there like that now, but Q-Pong was a mod for Quake 3, which was essentially soccer in Quake. So you had a ball that you had to shoot into the goal of the other team, but you could kill the other team members as well. So that we played a lot of Q-Pong. And then we played a lot of Half-Life. We played some of the old Team Fortress mods for Half-Life. One of them, I forget what it was called, but you basically had like assassins on one team, and the other team you had the president and his bodyguards. That was really fun. I forget what they called it, but we played that all the time, where we would be the assassins or the president and bodyguards. So the assassins all had to take out the president, and the bodyguards had to get president from point A to point B. So that was always super fun. We played that a lot in high school. Played a ton of Diablo 2 in high school. That we played a lot. Let's see, what else did we... In college, we played a ton of Warcraft. Was it Warcraft 3 at the time? Warcraft 2? Warcraft 3? We played a lot of StarCraft in high school when that came out. We would play very, very long. We could get out... Man, we had some very, very long StarCraft games. We had StarCraft games that lasted like 8 hours. StarCraft, especially once Brood Wars came out. StarCraft with Brood Wars, all the races were so balanced. It was very hard to... It was very hard to win when all the races were super balanced. How much do I have to pay to play Doom 2016? Is Doom 2016 just like a remaster of Doom 1, like the original Doom, or is it Doom 2? Or is it actually a full new game? getting tired here. No, it's technically Doom 4. Interesting. Music by Mick Gordon. Oh, it wasn't by Trent Reznor? He did what, Quake 2? If you, is it on Steam? I don't know if it's on Steam or not. It is on Steam. Yeah, if you want to see me play anything, if you gift me a copy of it on Steam, I'll play it. I really need to get around to upgrading this. I need to get around to upgrading my PC at some point. Doom 64. That was classic. Unfortunately, Duke Nukem 64 was a bit of a letdown. It's basically Duke Nukem 3D with crappier graphics. I don't tend to play a lot of FPS games because they tend to make me dizzy. That's why I'll play a lot of the side scrollers and Metrovanias and whatnot. Doom 64 is being re-released when Doom Eternal comes out. Interesting. Yeah, for the most part, I think the most FPS we played was Duke Nukem 3D. We played that a lot. And then we played a lot of Quake 3 in high school as far as FPSs goes. Halo came out when I was in college. Have I watched The Witcher yet? No, I haven't watched The Witcher yet. And I haven't played The Witcher yet either. I think it's on my wish list. Hail to King Baby. What? Mount and Blade Warland or Warband. Is that the full name of the game? Or is that two games? Came out 2010. What kind of game is it?
Mountain Blade 2 announced March 2020.
At least that's the planned release at the moment. I think the biggest things that I'm looking forward to for this year is Ori. The new Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And Hollow Knight, Silk Song. Those are two of the games I am really looking forward to. It looks like Hollow Knight still does not have a release date. And Ori, planned release for Ori is March 11th. So I'm looking forward. Those are the two games that I'm really looking forward to for this year. You should get the third game. It's like $20 Humble right now. Put your Steam in the chat. All right, here's my Steam. Did you play Counter-Strike? I might have played it quickly, but not like a ton. Witcher on Humble. I mean, you can friend me on Steam. So if you go into Steam and friend me, then you won't lose me. If you'd like. Yeah, Witcher's on my wish list right now. What did you send me? Humble Bundle? On Humble Bundle, if you get it on Humble Bundle, does it give you a key that you can use in Steam? Or do you have to download like Humble Bundle or whatever? Or some other... see. GOG. Is GOG like Steam? I'll have to download it. Oh, it's Steam code. Okay. Dum, dum, dum. Activate product on... I'm guessing it's activate product on Steam. Product code. Next. see don't want to throw so away. Can you do VR? No, I do not have VR. Where the heck do I put in the stupid game code? Where to put in the Steam key? Activate product on Steam. Follow the instructions. Game. Activate product on Steam. Next. Agree. Product code. That is not a Steam product code. So what else is going on out there while we're doing this? Sent you on Discord. Yep, I got that on Discord. But it is not going into Steam. Friends. Got it. Okay. This Alec Bradley was really good. It's my last one though. My last K147. Dun, dun, dun. Wait, would you Steam games? Would you stream games? Yeah, I'll stream. I'll stream whatever games. You ever try the green tea that Costco? No, not try the green tea that Costco has. Is it like bagged, shredded tea? What about fighting games? Fighting games like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. Those I basically never play because I'm really, really bad at them. The games that I play the most are going to be, well, the platformers. So the Metrovanias. So Metrovanias are probably the top of my list. Other platformers. And then RPGs are going to be higher up on the list. Adventure games like Skyrim and games like that. So those are kind of like the top level games that I will play. I really need to get Divinity 2. I played the first one. I have the first one, but I haven't gotten the second one. Big fan of like SimCity games, so like Cities Skylines, big fan of that. And then the platformers like Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is super fun. I wish there was another one. You'll love Witcher then. Yeah, is Witcher like, Skyrim and stuff like that? Yeah, it's bagged. Pretty good for bagged tea. Nice green color to it. Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much drink no bagged tea at all. Or anything shredded. Steam app is terrible. Do you have the Castlevania Anniversary Collection? I didn't know there was a Castlevania Anniversary Collection. Witcher is better than Skyrim. Yeah, I haven't played the Elder Scrolls since Morrowind, actually. Did not know there was a Castlevania collection. That is pretty sweet. Is it Castlevania 1 through 4? I really need to... Oh, geez. Castlevania 1, 2, 3, 4. Castlevania The Adventure. Castlevania 2... Belmont's Revenge. Castlevania Bloodlines. Kid Dracula, never released in English before. History of Castlevania. That's cool. I really need to get a hold of... Monkey Island. I want to get the Monkey Island collection at some point. If that hits a nice low price at some point. Because I love the Monkey Island games. Those would be fun to play on stream. Yeah, that's sweet. I just saw that. So I'll add that to my wish list. So that's on there. If people have never played Monkey Island before, you got to play Monkey Island. Because they're awesome. They're really fun. I'm glad that they put them back. I'm glad they put them out on PC again, because they were originally put out like on Xbox. They were put out on Xbox way back on Xbox 360. And the Maniac Mansion games. So Maniac Mansion and Day of the Tentacle. I don't know if they did. They didn't even do an upgrade on Maniac Mansion. It's still the original graphics. That's awesome. That's fun. Maniac Mansion was super hard. I don't think I've ever beaten Maniac Mansion. Day of the Tentacle. I never played Day of the Tentacle, but that was the what do you want to call it? The reboot, or not the reboot? The sequel. So if there's any fun, ridiculous games, I will definitely stream those. Probably runs using DOSBox. Well, I'm guessing it's it could be. I don't know. How many times will Todd Howard sell us Skyrim? Idea. Uh-oh. Likens has an idea. Yeah, I'll totally stream and play whatever for the most part. Well, I guess for the most part. Play these on Twitch, then upload the footage to YouTube. I have obviously I have a ton of subscribers on YouTube, so I guess what would be the advantage on streaming to Twitch? That'd be a question. And I wonder if I can simulcast to both at the same time. To be able to stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, go to stream and, oh, there's Restream.io. I know about them. But I'm guessing that costs money to restream to both. Restream.io. Dun, 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 dun. Pricing. Free. 1 channel per platform. So does that mean if I could use Restream.io and stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time? Can I stream to more? I don't care about that. I can stream to about, you can stream to 30 plus platforms for free or played. Huh, interesting. I might be able to do that. Hell Yeah is a Metrovania. I've never heard of Hell Yeah. Let me check it out. Not the band Hell Yeah. Game. Hell Yeah game. Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit. Or is there more? Different ones. Hell Yeah, Pimp My Rabbit Pack. Hell Yeah, Virtual Rabbit Missions. Those are the DLCs, I guess. Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit. That sounds awesome. Let me stick it on my list. I'm sticking that on my wish list. That sounds fun. So yeah, what would be I guess what would be the do Castlevania Marathon stream to Mixer, Twitch, Yahoo. Mixer is built into Xbox One. You have Broforce, don't you? Yes, I have Broforce. Yes, Wrath of Dead Rabbit. So I guess what would be the advantage of streaming to Twitch versus just streaming to YouTube? I'm curious. Sebastian, hey, what's up? What's better, cigars or pipe tobacco? Depends what you like. I like both of them, so I don't really favor one or the other. Pipe tobacco is cheaper per smoke, but of course then you end up collecting a lot of expensive pipes. But really, I don't have a preference. I go back and forth constantly, so I don't tend to favor one over the other. I have a lot of both. Depends what I'm in the mood for. It's not like you get Latakia in cigars, and it's not like you get really good cigar tobacco in pipes, and it just burns differently, so it doesn't work really well in pipes. So they just have different characteristics. That depends what you're looking for. Yeah, but I like both, and I don't really seem to favor one over the other. So this stream's been doing pretty well. I've pretty much been averaging about 10 people at all times. We're down at about 8 right now, but that's pretty awesome. Widen your audience. I know people simulcast. Yeah, I mean, nothing really, since they're similar. It all depends on your sub base. Yeah, I mean, my sub base is completely all here on YouTube. 8K stream Broforce with your wife. She would probably be so annoyed with that game. But for any like multiplayer games, like co-op multiplayers like Broforce and stuff like that, if anybody else has them and also wants to play, let me know. I believe the game that I was playing, Sundered, has multiplayer. I have the opportunity in the country I live to smoke Cuban cigars, and the Dunhill mixture is really like Cuban Partagas. That's why I was asking. Well, by the way, love your vids. Got me into pipe smoking. Cool. Yeah, there's so much stuff out there for pipes. That's completely different from cigars. Like I said, I enjoy them equally. There's a lot of options in both worlds, so. I'll check the Restream IO and see how well that works. When you play Broforce, you must have the manliest cigar. Yeah, I have streamed Broforce before. Did I do it on YouTube though? I think I might have done it on Twitch before. But I could definitely restream Broforce. I love that game. That game is so fun. It's just ridiculous too. Are they going to put out a second Broforce? Because I would really like them to put out a second Broforce. It's a venture with, yeah. Because I would love a sequel to Broforce. I love those types of games like Contra. I love that game. That game was so fun. Please tell me there's a Broforce 2 coming, because I would love that. Let's see. That was put out. Development. Don't see anything about a Broforce 2 at the moment. Expanded Bros is an official crossover game by Broforce developers, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Come on, Broforce 2. Broforce 2 would be sweet. Or if there's any other games like Broforce, let me know. Where it's like completely destructible environment and everything. That AI Dungeons and Dragons ridiculousness was hilarious. Maybe I'll have to do that sometime on a stream, just to see what kind of type of wackiness we can come up with, because that's just funny. Add the Contra. Seriously, there's a Contra Anniversary Collection too? Oh, not, yeah, there it is. Contra Anniversary Collection. So does it have Contra 2? 10 classic Contra games? Oh my god. So let's see, they have, which Contras do they have? They have Contra Arcade, they have Super Contra, Contra North American, Contra Japanese, I don't know what the difference was between the two of those, Super C, Contra 3, Operation C, Contra Hardcore, Super Protector, Probotector, Alien Rebels, and Probotector. Wow. I will have to check that out. That is going on my wish list. That is sweet. Last year is the first time I have ever beat Contra without the 30 guy code. Actual games are great. The collection has a ton of value. However, the features are absolutely lousy when compared to Digital Eclipse's collection. I wish Konami had gone with them rather than M2. Controls are clunky. Some games which were meant to pop lots of quarters in severely limits continues, and the entire presentation feels vanilla overall. Oh, well, that's not very good. Emulation is good, lacks in-game options, full screen, and exiting the game is bad. Contrary to how arcade 2 da-da-da-da-da. It's shorter than the most famous. Blah, blah, blah. Controls are worse. Well, that's not fun. It's a bit of a mixed bag on the Contra anniversary collection, it seems. But when did it come out? June, and it's only got 142 reviews. Guess a lot of people haven't gotten it. When's the last update on it? See if there are any updates to fix some stuff. Let's see. You got me playing Sundered. Sundered is awesome. That game was sweet. I cannot beat the final boss, though. I'm a little bummed on that one. But Sundered is awesome. What about Risk of Rain 2? I've never heard of Risk of Rain. Never heard of either of them, so. Risk of Rain. What is Risk of Rain? Classic multiplayer roguelike Risk of Rain, which is dimensional, blah, blah, blah. Play solo or team up with 3 friends, fight through hordes of monsters, unlock new loot. Ooh, that sounds fun. Still in early access, though. I play Postal 2. I don't. Is Postal a FPS? Developer running with scissors. Category dark humor. I mean, I'm not against it. Like I said, I will play anything people stick on my list. I have games that I will definitely buy, but anything that people are interested in seeing me play that is not really on my list of things to buy are free to send it to me, of course, and I will play it. I have a lot of stuff to play that I haven't played yet. I got Axiom Verge, which is another Metrovania that I have not played yet. What else is on here? Broken Age, which is a point-and-click adventure that I gotta play. I haven't played with Goat Simulator. Somebody gifted that to me a long time ago. I gotta play that. Grim Dawn is on my list of things to play. Risk of Rain. I have yet to see his game bug out. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah. I'll definitely play it. I have some other games that I'd like to play that I have on my list that I've downloaded, just haven't played it yet. I got Rain World that I haven't played yet. I have never played it, and it's old, but I haven't played Psychonauts. That's on my list of things to play. I have a whole bunch of the old Oddworld games. What else do I got? Sundered, I've played. They Bleed Pixels, I've been playing. Of course, there's Torchlight and Torchlight 2. You Have to Win the Game. Super, You Have to Win the Game. Or Super Win the Game. Postal 2 nearly got AO rating because it's based on that postal worker who went apeshit. Yeah. So maybe I'll put a poll up for what games to play, and people can do that. And of course, I'll put up my thing so people can send me stuff if they would like to contribute to the game fund, I guess, or contribute to any other fund. Well, this has been a relatively good stream this evening. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about? It is getting a bit late. It is freaking 10:20 here. I should probably let my dogs out and do all that fun stuff. I actually haven't even eaten dinner yet, so probably make myself a little snack before I actually go to bed. Let's see, store to our wish list. Damn squealing kettle. Let's see what's actually on my list that is out. It isn't stupid expensive. I have not played Undertale. Hear that is very fun. It's a very good game. Some ridiculous games like Prison Architect, which are just fun to do stupid stuff in. Factorio is still in early access. I can't believe that's still early access. It's been in early access since 2016. You figure they would have finished it by now. Megalovania? What? Doki Doki Panic? Isn't that Mario Brothers 2? Wasn't that what Mario Brothers 2 was? That's a really funny thing, the Doki Doki 2. That Doki Doki Panic just got reskinned as Mario Brothers 2, which was always really funny because the actual Mario Brothers 2 was considered too difficult. You should play Doki Doki. Doki Doki Literature Club? Factorio will probably never leave early access. It will keep growing as long as the developers have creativity. Should I say Doki Doki Literature Club? I will have to check that out. Doki Doki. I'm guessing it's nothing like Doki Doki Panic. What did you send? What did I send to who? What did I say? I just said okay. I just sent you I just sent a message that said okay. That's it. That's all I responded with. Was okay with our chat. Just download it. Okay. I will I'll do what I can here. Don't read any spoilers. Okay, I won't. Well, at least tell me what kind of game is it. Is it just like a choose your own adventure story, basically? They require da 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 da. Yeah, stream it, right? Yes, I will stream it. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to wrap it up this evening. What's the best way to do this? I will put up a poll on YouTube with like 4 games to play and see if people want to see me play them. Yeah. Okay. Then people can vote. And yeah. You can put a comment in there and only stream when you play. And put a comment in there for to advocate for your choice. But all in all, thanks for everyone for hanging out with me. Man, this has been a long stream. What are we at? We're at 3 hours and 20 minutes. Damn, this is a long stream. All right. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. I got ashtrays. If people want ashtrays, let me know. All right. See you later, guys.